Hello everybody, this is Cougar with World of Me, and I'm here with another episode from the Geek series, that being about the products from the Geek app. Got another package in here today. It's one that's pretty reasonable size here. You can see it's a nice big square box there. On the description here, it states light, or one light. Well, let's go ahead and get this open and we'll see what we've got inside. Like I said, I do have an idea on what it is, but we don't want to waste any more time. And there we go. Now, if you can see this, I know there's a little bit of glare there, so it's a little difficult to see, but this is a mini laser stage light. Now, I got this because I do work with bands and DJs and things like that, and I do work with lighting systems and things of that nature. And I went ahead and got this for one setup that I use, or one setup that I do for a certain band that I work with. And I wanted to give them a little bit more of a light show. They have some nice lights, and we're always looking to upgrade and increase what they and whoever else I work with has. So I wanted to go ahead and get this. It was pretty cheap. If I remember correctly, it was like $13 plus the shipping, so it was less than $20 total. Now, I'm going to go ahead here. We've got the parts coming out to show you what it's got here inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a look. Let's see what this says here. Real quickly, it's a laser effect with 1,000 plus beams, so obviously it's got some kind of splitter on it. It does use a green laser at the, let's see, 532 nanometer range, so if you actually pay attention to some of that. And that's at a 50 milliwatt. Now, they also have at 100 milliwatts, it says that it's the 650 nanometer range, which is a red laser. I don't know that this one will do both colors. Maybe it will. We'll find out here in just a second. So I just want to, we're not really sure as to whether it does both. I thought it was only green, but if it does both, that's great. It is controlled by a remote, which I do have right here. And it is also sound active, and it has an autoplay feature as well. So I'm sure the autoplay is probably something like a scan or something like that, where it will kind of flash through a sequence, whereas the sound active will go to the beat of the music of sorts. So let's go ahead and set that aside. First off, go ahead and take a look at a couple of the little things here. It's got this little octopus type of stand here. This octopus stand has kind of a little clip right here, so you can clip it onto something. It screws right into the bottom, and then you can take and move this out, and it flexes just like a bendy straw or something like that, where you can set it up however you need to aim it in the direction that you want. So you've got this and can move it around, and it will stay however you want. So that's a pretty nice feature there. Of course, it does have the power supply, and I am going to have to get an adapter, because the thing is, when I ordered this, and I don't know why they sent me this one, but I did order it for the US. Unfortunately, this is some type of UK or European type of plug, so I'm going to have to find an adapter for that to get this working in terms of being able to plug it in. I don't know exactly why they sent this to me like that. Like I say, it's I did order this as a US plug, but for some reason they sent me the wrong one. I will go ahead and make mention to that, and for all I know, they may end up sending me the correct plug, or whatever. I'm not exactly certain. So we'll find out from there. I may be able to find an adapter that I can use with this and be able to get it ready so that we can see what this thing does. And then let's go ahead, before we get into that, of course, we have our basic instructions here, and they tell you about the remote, as well as the couple of things that are on the unit itself. We've got our remote right here, and it does look like, yes, it has a little thing here, so it does have battery already in it. And it has simple features where it's the power button, you've got the auto scan, you've got a music 1 and 2. It does say RNG, so I do suppose that this should have both colors on it, since it does have that on the remote right here. It does have a sound section across here, no sound, low sound, and high sound, which I'm guessing that is the sensitivity as to how much it's going to react to the sound that it's around. It does have a speed adjustment, and it says motor stop, which the motor stop would be, of course, changing the different types of lighting and things like that, because it will make different patterns, star patterns or burst patterns or what have you. And so those, of course, will be controlled by a motor, because it will shift and change. Now, the unit itself, as you can see, it's very, very small and compact, which is great because, you don't really need something that's taking up a whole ton of space. It has these 2 screws on the side here. They are Allen head screws, so I can take and put an Allen wrench in there and tighten this up and make it so that it stays in whatever direction that I decide to put it. I can, of course, screw my little octopus legs here into the bottom, as long as I don't cross thread it. And there we go. And then, of course, you can take and put it like that and aim it however you want. So we'll go ahead and unscrew that, because I don't need that on there just yet. Now, on the back here, it has a couple of different things. This section right here is the microphone, so that, like I said, it can, of course, listen for the music and adjust and make its display go against that. There is a mode, some type of button back here. I'm guessing that's an on-off. Let's take a quick look at the directions here. Yeah, that's number 3 on the thing, so it's the mode change button. So I'm guessing that will switch between your, okay, it's either going to be sound or whatever. And then you've got, okay, so, well, here's actually the switch button on the back will change between the sound. It has sound, auto, and off. So if you put it on sound, there's different sound ones that you can set it to, so that it flashes certain things on the sound. So you can change what it's displaying when it's going off of the sound, as well as the auto, and then, of course, the number 3 is the off switch, or the off setting, so that it will go ahead and shut the unit down completely. Now you've got these 2 openings here. I'm pretty sure that this is where the laser comes through, and then this may be some type of light sensitivity. I am not quite seeing exactly what that says. It doesn't actually even show it on the instructions, so it may not really be anything of any importance, but this will be where the laser shoots out. So, and of course you have the little sticker, the laser sticker here on the end, and that's of course telling you what side the laser is. So when you set it up, you'll want to aim the laser and be according to this as to where the laser is going to be pointed. The little DC connection for our jack here is on the side, and that is a standard kind of round jack. It uses a 5 volt 1000 milliamp, which is basically 1 amp. So 5 volts at 1 amp. In a sense, I could actually take this and power it off of a USB cable, even if I wanted to, because that is the same amount that the USBs use. Your standard USB chargers put out 5 volts, and they will put it out at either 1 or 2.1 amps. I'm going to go ahead and cut for just a second. I'm going to see if I can set something up for this to get it working, so that we can see what it looks like and, kind of determine what kind of features this really does show beyond it telling us, okay, well, it goes off of sound or whatnot. We want to go ahead and see some of those colors. Okay, everybody, we're back, and I found a way to get this wired up, at least temporarily, until I can get an adapter or a new plug for this. Fortunately, the UK or the European plug that it uses still uses the same type of voltage and everything that we use here, and or is able to take the same type of voltage that has a very large span as to what the transformer in this unit can handle. So I was able to kind of make my own adapter for at least for temporary use. Now I did go ahead and I tested it a little bit, trying to make sure that it's working and that that I can actually show you what this does. Now, like I said, there are the 3 settings on the back, and then there is the remote. So between the two, you could sit there, and what I found is if you go ahead and switch it to auto, it does have a handful of things that it will do on its own, but then you can kind of change using these upper buttons. I haven't quite figured out what the lower buttons in terms of the play and pause, fast forward, rewind, those kinds of things do. My only guess is maybe it can be sunk up to some type of audio device that you can, in a sense, use maybe a CD player or an MP3 player of some type, and you can kind of control it with this, and it will increase and decrease your volume as well as play, skip, or rewind your tracks. But we'll find out with that. I don't really see it on the instructions here. It doesn't really say a whole lot other than it says MP3 control, but I don't know what MP3 it's really talking about. So I don't know if there's some way to sync this remote up to something like that. I'll have to find that one out, and maybe I'll put that in the description below once I do find out. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and turn this on. Right now it's off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it to the auto setting, and you can see it's already displaying a little bit of a light show. It sits there and just kind of swirls around. And if you notice, there are both colors, so it does use the red and green. On this, you have a setting for red, green, or both. Right now it's set to both. I'm going to go ahead. There's just the red. And then there's just the green. Now also there is a motor stop function where I can freeze it where it's at, basically pause the motor and take it to different places. I could do something like that, or I could let it spread out so it's got a bigger effect. And then of course I can change it over to the red and do the same thing, or the red and green and do the same thing. I can also make it flash, and it can be doing that while it's moving or while the movement is paused. If I hit auto, I'll hit the motor on, and that's one of them. That's just kind of the automatic random feature that it does. You've got kind of some flashing red, there's green, then the red's coming up, now the green's flashing. And so you can see it's switching kind of back and forth, and then it shows both of them together, things like that. There is a music section, and I do have to, let's see if we put the music one on. And there we go. Now for the music one, you have to have sound, so I'm talking into it, and that's why it's flashing like that. And so as you can see, it'll go along with the music when it's playing, and then if no music is playing, or if there's no sound, it won't show any of the lights. So it kind of adds to the effect where when the music stops, so does it, and everything kind of goes down to a standstill. And it gives it more of a dramatic effect. Now this is another version of the music. There's Music 1 and Music 2. The one I just used was Music 2. This is Music 1, and you can see a slightly different effect. It's kind of more open, more spacious in terms of the way the lights are moving and everything. And it doesn't kind of spatter it out everywhere. It's kind of a more uniform look. Now, let's see what we can do with some of the others. We've got auto. And then, like I said, see, it sits there and changes back and forth between the red and the green, and then a mixture of the two. Of course, and then we already saw that you could go with just red, or just green on this. So it's not super complex. These are just simple pinpoints of light. You have that kind of burst pattern and everything like that. But it does work fairly well. It has a little fan on it, so it keeps itself cool. It's very lightweight and everything. Like I said, though, I unfortunately got the UK plug. I do know that there are adapters available that you could change that out. Someplace at a local electronics supply store may carry something like that if you wanted to get it, if for some reason you ended up getting that one like I did. I am going to go ahead and contact the company and let them know, hey, I didn't get the right plug, I don't know why. I do know for 100% certain that I did make sure to put the US plug, because that is one of the mandatory selections that you have to do there on the Geek app. You select the color, and I've got the blue one. They do have them in other colors. There was, of course, a black one here on the box, as well as I think there's a white one and maybe some other colors even, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But when you had to select that, then there was a second one that said which version in terms of the plugs that you use. And there was somewhere between 3 and 5 different styles. I believe there was kind of the UK or the European plug, there was the US plug, and then there was at least 1 or 2, maybe 3 other types of plugs that were available, because these are of course shipped around the world, and they want to make sure that you get the one that you need for the region that you're in. And unfortunately we're not worldwide in terms of universal plugs, so you do have to have an adapter if you don't quite get the right one. But anyhow, go ahead and close this little review up. It is, like I said, pretty neat, pretty nice little device. I told you it's only about $13. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty positive on this. It was $13 plus about $5 for shipping, so about $18 for this total. I think this will be a great little addition to the lighting that I use on different projects, and it's a nice little toy for not a whole lot of money. I'm Cougar with World of Me. This has been another episode from the Geek series for products from the Geek app. If you like this episode, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there, and you can get notified of any new videos that we do have coming available here at the World of Me. Also, if you check out the description below, you can see our social media links, those being to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can check those out, kind of keep yourself updated as to things going on here at the World of Me. Anyhow, I'd like to wish you all a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.